Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 3 3/4 inch scale First Order Stormtrooper. Alright, so before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that Victoria's Cantina is now on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, I encourage you to follow me. You'll not only get updates on upcoming reviews and previews of things to come for the channel, but you'll also get news and tidbits that might come my way in terms of collecting news for all of the lines that we collect here on the channel. I'll put a link down in the description, and I look forward to seeing you on Twitter. So our First Order Stormtrooper here from the Force Awakens has very nice looking packaging. We previously looked at the Kylo Ren basic figure. Packaging is essentially the same exact style because it's from the same line, but you get a very nice portrait there of the First Order Stormtrooper, which I think looks really, really cool. In the packaging too, the figure itself looks very, very nice. Love the Star Wars lettering there, just all whited out. It looks really cool. And of course the image there of Kylo Ren is really, really sweet. Now this one does balance on the bubble. With Kylo Ren, I could not get it to stand, but clearly it must have been an issue with that figure because with the Stormtrooper, it stands just fine, which is awesome. Back of the card gives us a little bit of information there, some previews of other figures in this wave, as well as details on the pack-in. Right there, as you can see, you get 3 different pack-in pieces from the corresponding 3 figures there, and then you can assemble that weapon, or it looks like a weapon, and then a little bit of information there on the First Order Stormtrooper. Equipped with sleek armor and powerful weapons, the Stormtroopers enforce the will of the First Order. Okay, you guys, so included in the figure is a little pamphlet that gives you information on connecting the 3 weapons that you can get from 3 different figures to make a large weapon. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we don't have the other 2 figures. But here's our First Order Stormtrooper. And as you can see, it's a very nicely done sculpt. Looks a lot like what we've seen in the Force Awakens movie trailers, as well as in the promotional images from the film. And of course, it has that classic original trilogy Stormtrooper feel to it as well. I think the sculpting on it is very nicely done, looks quite proportionate and quite realistic. And the figure is a very vibrant white, which is awesome. I'm not quite sure if they cast it in white plastic or if they painted it white, but either way, it's very nice and vibrant. And it also does come with 2 accessories, which we will get to in just a moment. But first up, I will give you a close-up of the head. As you can see, it's nicely sculpted. The paint is a little bit iffy. It's not perfect, but, you know, certainly could be worse. I got my specific figure from Amazon.com, so I really didn't get to compare it to any other ones. But at the same time, I was not able to track this one down at retail since the line launched last Friday. So, you know, I'm happy to at least have one. It still looks good. You know, really like the new way that they did these Stormtroopers. It's a very refined and sleek version of the old Stormtroopers that we all have known to come and love. And I just think it looks really cool, very modern looking. The body and the armor looks very, very nice. Has some pretty good detail on it. You can see the outlining there on its armored pieces. The belt looks quite good. Compared to the 6-inch figure, which I do have and will review soon, it is missing a couple of the little painted details, like they're on the chest and on the belt. But, you know, I don't expect as much from a little basic figure like this, you know, with minimal articulation. Back of it looks really nice as well, pretty nicely detailed, I mean, overall. And, you know, all in all, just pretty simple figure, but, you know, one that looks quite good. And for $8, I think this is about as good as you can expect. In the way of articulation, our Stormtrooper has a ball joint here at the head. You don't get a whole lot of upward movement, but it does go down a little bit. You can swivel it around like that. He has swivels at both of his shoulders. He has swivels at the hips, and that's all you're going to get with this specific Stormtrooper figure. I would imagine that Hasbro will release a super articulated version as part of their Walmart exclusive 3 3/4 inch Black Series lineup. I looked at the list of what's coming. I don't remember if a Stormtrooper was on it, but I would have to believe that it is because, I mean, it's a Stormtrooper. It's going to be popular. And as I mentioned, the Stormtrooper comes with 2 weapons. The first of them here is the blaster, and this looks to be a typical Stormtrooper type blaster from the original trilogy. Of course, it has been tweaked a little bit for the Force Awakens with some white on it. I think it looks quite nice. He can hold it in either one of his hands, which, is always a good thing. And the second item is his pack-in that you use to combine with other pack-ins to make a super weapon type thing. It actually looks pretty good. It has some colorful paint on it, the blues and the whites and, the gray. I really wouldn't expect that from a pack-in like this, but, it is nice that it has that extra detail. And it does look like a gun that a Stormtrooper might use. And he actually can hold it, which is very interesting, though you do have to lean him back just a little bit in order to compensate for the weight difference. And then I'll go ahead and bring back in Kylo Ren, who we looked at in our last review. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link down at the bottom. Kylo is quite a bit taller than the Stormtrooper, which is interesting. I wonder if Kylo is just a tall character, or if the Stormtrooper is indeed a little short for a Stormtrooper. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 3 3/4 inch scale First Order Stormtrooper. Like I said, it is quite simplistic. It has a very nice sculpt. It has very nice, vibrant white coloring, nice accessories, and the expected 5 points of articulation. My personal feeling, and this is something I mentioned with Kylo Ren, is I just wish that they would drop these pack-ins and, give us a buck or two off the figure. I think I'd rather pay, $6 or $7 for the figure without it. So overall, I do like the figure, and yes, I do recommend it to you. But again, a super articulated version is on the way, so if you want to hold out for that, by all means, you can do that. Though I do think even if I had a super articulated one, I still would probably want maybe a couple of these, just to have in the background. All in all, it's a pretty good little figure, and I do recommend it for your Star Wars or your Force Awakens collection. Alright, my friends, that'll do it for this edition of Victoria's Cantina. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this guy. Remember to follow us on Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.